Live from New Delhi, you're watching DD India Live, India's voice to the world. I'm Tanvi Taneja. Coming up in the next 30 minutes. Prime Minister Narendra Modi slams Pakistan, says terrorism no longer proxy war, as Pakistan's well-planned terror strategy has been exposed. Adds India's response will be on similar lines. To further bolster India's indigenous defence capabilities, Defence Minister Rajnath Singh clears the country's first fifth-generation stealth combat aircraft project. The UK stands with Liverpool, says Prime Minister Keir Starmer, after a car rammed into soccer fans during Premier League title parade, injuring dozens. And Russia accuses Ukraine of trying to derail peace talks. Zelensky's chief of staff, Andriy Yermak, says Russia needs more sanctions. Prime Minister Narendra Modi, on the second day of his Gujarat visit, participated in the celebrations of 20 years of Gujarat urban growth story. During the event, Prime Minister Narendra Modi launched Urban Development Year 2025. Prime Minister Modi inaugurated and laid the foundation stone for multiple projects related to urban development, health and water supply. He dedicated more than 22,000 dwelling units under Pradhan Mantri Awas Yojana. Prime Minister Modi also released funds to the tune of 3,300 crore rupees to urban local bodies in Gujarat under the Swarnim Jayanti Mukhyamantri Shahri Vikas Yojana. Addressing the gathering, the Prime Minister stated that historically what was termed proxy war has now evolved, especially after the events of May 6th.
जब आतंकवाद के 9 ठिकाने तय करके 22 मिनट में साथियों 22 मिनट में उनको ध्वस्त कर दिया, और इस बार तो सब कैमरा के सामने की सारी व्यवस्था रखी थी ताकि हमारे घर में कोई सबूत न मांगे। अब हमें सबूत नहीं देना पड़ रहा है, वो ऊपर वाला दे रहा है। और मैं इसलिए कहता हूं अब ये प्रॉक्सी वॉर नहीं कह सकते इसको, क्योंकि जो आतंकवादियों के जनाजे निकले 6 मई के बाद जिनका कत्ल हुआ, उस जनाजे को स्टेट ऑनर दिया गया पाकिस्तान में। उनके कॉफिन पे पाकिस्तान के झंडे लगाए गए, उनकी सेना ने उनको सैल्यूट दी। ये सिद्ध करता है कि आतंकवादी गतिविधि ये प्रॉक्सी वॉर नहीं है, ये आपकी सोची समझी युद्ध की रणनीति है। आप वॉर ही कर रहे हैं तो उसका जवाब भी वैसे ही मिलेगा।
Prime Minister Narendra Modi also highlighted India's growth as the world's 4th largest economy of the world.
2014 में 26 मई मुझे पहली बार देश के प्रधानमंत्री के रूप में शपथ लेने का अवसर मिला, और तब भारत की इकोनॉमी दुनिया में 11 नंबर पर थे। हमने कोरोना से लड़ाई लड़ी, हमने पड़ोसियों से भी मुसीबतें झेली, हमने प्राकृतिक आपदा भी झेली। इन सब के बावजूद भी इतने कम समय में हम 11 नंबर की इकोनॉमी से 4 नंबर की इकोनॉमी पहुंच गए।
Earlier, Prime Minister Modi also held a roadshow in Gandhinagar where people lined up along the route and showered flower petals when the Prime Minister's cavalcade passed through. As part of India's global outreach on Operation Sindoor, the delegation led by JDU MP Sanjay Kumar Jha called on Senior Minister of State for Foreign Affairs and Home Affairs of Singapore, Sim Ann. During the meeting, the Indian delegation conveyed India's strict stance against terrorism, adding that Operation Sindoor has carved out a new benchmark of India's fight against terrorism. The delegation added that India will not bow down to any nuclear blackmail. The Singaporean minister conveyed that Singapore strongly condemns Pahalgam terror attacks and stands with India against terrorism. Earlier in the day, the delegation members briefed Singaporean officials on the developments since Pahalgam terror attack, Operation Sindoor, and India's new normal in fighting terrorism. The Indian parliamentary delegation led by Kanimuri Karunanidhi met with parliamentary delegation of Slovenia on Tuesday. The Indian delegation called on Marko Lotric, President of the National Council of Slovenia. The delegation conveyed India's resolute stance of zero tolerance towards terrorism and the new normal after Operation Sindoor. They appreciated Slovenia's role as a non-permanent member of the United Nations Security Council in promoting global peace and its unequivocal condemnation of terrorism that needs to be eradicated. The Slovenian delegation appreciated the message of national unity conveyed by the delegation and their effort to reach out to the Slovenian side. They also condemned the Pahalgam terror attack and conveyed that terrorism in any form can never be tolerated. The Indian delegation, led by Member of Parliament Ravi Shankar Prasad, interacted with French media in Paris and briefed them about India's action against Pakistan-sponsored terrorism. The delegation also held discussions with the French think tank and the Indian community and strongly expressed India's unwavering commitment against terrorism. The discussion with the French think tank was on the involvement of Pakistan in the Pahalgam terrorist attack on April 22nd, and details about India's response and Operation Sindoor were shared. The all-party delegation led by BJ Panda is in Kuwait. On Tuesday, the delegation visited the exhibition at National Library, Rehlai Dosti, 250 years of India-Kuwait friendship, showcasing rare manuscripts, historical books, coins and artifacts underscoring India-Kuwait's deep historical connections. The delegation, in an interaction with the Indian diaspora, engaged in India's response to the April 22nd Pahalgam terror attacks and its broader fight against cross-border terrorism. India's all-party delegation will project New Delhi's national consensus and resolute approach to combating terrorism in all its forms and manifestations. The delegation, led by NCP MP Supriya Sule, is visiting Egypt, Qatar, Ethiopia and South Africa. In South Africa, the delegation will be holding meetings till 29th of May in Cape Town. DD India's Nazneen Ismail reports.
A high-level Indian all-party delegation led by Supriya Sule has arrived in South Africa. It is one of 7 groups tasked by New Delhi with visiting key partner countries. Their visit forms part of Operation Sindoor, a significant diplomatic outreach launched in the wake of the tragic Pahalgam attack aimed at strengthening international cooperation in the fight against cross-border terrorism. The delegation, which includes members of parliament from across party lines, senior political leaders and seasoned diplomats, is here to present India's unified stance and unwavering commitment to combating terrorism in all its forms. They will be in South Africa over the next 2 days, engaging with key stakeholders, carrying forward India's strong message of zero tolerance towards terrorism. India and South Africa share a long-standing relationship rooted in historical ties, shared values and a common commitment to democracy, peace and development. From their solidarity during the anti-apartheid movement to ongoing collaboration in multilateral forums such as BRICS, IBSA and the G20, the two nations have consistently supported each other on global platforms. This visit further reinforces their strategic partnership and shared resolve to build a safer, more secure world. This visit is not just diplomatic, it's a declaration of solidarity and resolve in the face of terrorism. I'm Nazneen for DD India, Johannesburg, South Africa.
In a significant push towards enhancing India's indigenous defence capabilities and fostering a robust domestic aerospace industrial ecosystem, Defence Minister Rajnath Singh has approved the Advanced Medium Combat Aircraft Programme Execution Model. Aeronautical Development Agency is set to execute the program through industry partnership. This is an important step towards harnessing the indigenous expertise, capability and capacity to develop the AMCA prototype, which will be a major milestone towards self-reliance, Atmanirbharta in the aerospace sector. The execution model approach provides equal opportunities to both private and public sectors on a competitive basis. Milrem Robotics is a global leader in autonomous unmanned ground vehicles, providing autonomous operation capabilities to lessen the cognitive load on operators and improve mission success. It deploys an increasingly advanced range of military robots that are adaptable for various missions, including frontline unit resupply, reconnaissance and combat. Milrem Robotics' Paul Clayton spoke to DD India's Jessica Taneja.
We have with us Paul Clayton. He is the Director of Industrial Partnerships here at Milrem Robotics. Thank you for speaking to DD India and taking our time. From whatever we've understood, it is important to know that, the unarmed ground vehicles play an important role in the battlefield, as you just explained. When you talk about India, how keen do you think are the Indian armed forces when it comes to adopting this kind of tech?
So they're at the early stages. I think the war in Ukraine has accelerated that because they've seen an increase in use of unmanned vehicles and an increase in capability. And so that is probably where they were thinking probably of a 5 or a 10-year forecast. I think that's probably coming down into sort of like 2 to 5 year forecast of being able to do trials. And they're already trialing vehicles at the moment through to hopefully delivery, well, certainly by 2030, I would have thought.
How do you look at the Indian terrains, being able to adapt, or these unarmed ground vehicles being able to adapt in those terrains right now?
So first is the climate. So our vehicles have been tested from the very cold at minus 30 all the way up to plus 55 in the deserts of the Middle East. So climate-wise, they're very adaptable and able to operate. When it comes to different types of terrain, obviously mountainous terrain becomes more of a challenge. So high altitude does become a challenge. It has a small impact on the overall capability, but it's still able to operate even at higher altitudes.
India's External Affairs Minister Dr. S. Jaishankar interacted with a parliamentary delegation from Sri Lanka who were on a visit to India for the Pride Capacity Building Programme. Dr. Jaishankar appreciated their condemnation of terrorism and expressions of sympathy on the Pahalgam attack. The leaders discussed neighbourhood first policy underpinned by strong people-to-people ties. The Indian minister reiterated commitment to Sri Lanka's development and progress. Next, weather updates from India. The India Meteorological Department has issued a stark warning of severe rainfall. An orange alert is also in place across several states, indicating the potential for moderate to heavy rainfall and weather-related disruptions. Mumbai has been downgraded to a yellow alert as rainfall has subsided today. Meanwhile, India's northeast region embraces for more southwest monsoon as light and moderate rainfall with gusty winds and thunderstorm occurred in various regions. As per IMD, isolated heavy rainfall is likely in different regions till 1st of June. Extreme torrential rains are lashing Kerala and extended to Karnataka, Maharashtra's Ghats and Tamil Nadu. In Kerala, disruptions include train delays, rising water levels in Ernakulam. Fishermen have also been warned. Meanwhile, Telangana braces for deluges on Wednesday and Thursday. Meanwhile, containers from the Liberian cargo ship that sank off Kochi is now being removed. In response to the incident, the state has declared an emergency to address the risk of an oil spill or chemical leak. With the Indian Coast Guard and Navy on high alert, the public has been asked to stay away from the coast and not touch foreign objects as the state monitors the high-pressure situation. Earlier, the Indian Coast Guard stated that the vessel was carrying 640 containers, including 13 containing hazardous cargo and 12 with calcium carbide. You're watching DD India Live, still to come on the show. The Gulf Cooperation Council, or GCC, expects trade with the Association of Southeast Asian Nations, ASEAN, to hit $180 billion by 2032. Tesla sales half in EU as Chinese EV and hybrid brands surge in Europe. An exclusive interaction on the other side with Estonia's Prime Minister Kristen Michal on opportunities for future collaboration with India.
Geopolitics and trade deals. Economic challenges amid development. Hard work and the path to prosperity. It's the economy always. Between walkers, money is what money does and says. Supply creates its own demand. Between the bulls pulls and bears tears. When supply chains globalization and India rises to the podium. We'll get you centered with the economic brief at 8 p.m. every Thursday on DD India.
Welcome back. You're watching DD India Live. I'm Tanvi Taneja. Estonia, a nation of approximately 1.3 million people, has been seeking to strengthen its relationship with New Delhi, with a particular emphasis on strategic areas like cybersecurity and defense. While India and Estonia share numerous opportunities for cooperation in sectors such as business and food, cybersecurity stands out as arguably the strongest area for collaborative efforts, given Estonia's globally recognized robust IT sector. Estonia's Prime Minister Kristen Michal spoke to DD India's Jessica Taneja.
We have with us the Prime Minister of Estonia. Thank you for speaking to DD India and taking out time for us. We've seen that there's been a momentum in India-Estonia ties in the recent past. The trade has been modest between the two, but there is potential to increase trade ties. What are the expectations in the future, and what are you building up to, in a sense, to increase trade with India?
I would say that we have a good potential, as you mentioned, that to increase trade, because, for example, Estonia is quite strong in IT and cybersecurity field. That comes from the life itself, because, to be honest, Estonia was the first country in the whole world to become under constant cyber attacks from our neighbors. So we evolved our cybersecurity very rapidly, and right now it's still evolving. We are working with IT companies on cybersecurity field. So this is with a great potential to have cooperation done with India and also private companies. They are signing different contracts, and the trade is growing. Also to mention wood industry, which is with a great capabilities, and food industry. So we have many fields in which to work together, and I would say that I would encourage everybody in India. So if they have a nice vacation, to come to Estonia. It's not probably the warmest, but it has very clean air, as already mentioned, and very nice nature.
With increasing cyber threats, how is Estonia going to come in and partner with India in the future?
I would say that the first level could be on the private sector level, in which companies are working together, and also on the state level, because, as you know, Estonia has, I would say, 100% of our public services, which we are offering. Also divorce, for example, and marriage are doable online. So we have very good examples how, let's say, cyber field and also online services field works. It's usually cheaper. It saves businesses and people time. It has a better traceability, less corruption, and so on. So for a very big country as India is, this kind of opportunities to use e-governance, for example, Estonia is doing well. We have government sessions already 25 years, not on paper, but online. So this kind of systems could be very helpful. For example, e-prescription, e-schooling, whatever the systems. So we are more than willing to share our experiences on the state level and also private level, because our companies everybody is involved in this kind of work. So that could be very helpful also coming from small to big.
Minister, thank you for speaking to the Public Broadcaster of India. Appreciate it. Thank you.
All the best.
Thank you.
At the second ASEAN GCC summit, the Gulf Cooperation Council is expecting a $180 billion trade with ASEAN nations. The Crown Prince of Kuwait, Sheikh Sabah Al Khalid Al Sabah, on Tuesday highlighted the importance of strategic partnerships in areas of food security and digital economy. This comes amid economically volatile global conditions and USA's trade tariff threats. Kuala Lumpur is hosting regional leaders for the 46th ASEAN Summit as Malaysia chairs the summit this year. North Korea has slammed US President Donald Trump's Golden Dome missile shield plan as a very dangerous threat that aims to weaponize space. Pyongyang's foreign ministry has issued a memorandum calling the system a very dangerous, threatening initiative aimed at threatening the strategic security of the nuclear weapon states. Trump announced that new details and initial funding for the missile shield system last week, calling it very important for the success and even survival of their country. Washington, Seoul's key security ally, has in recent years ramped up joint military exercises and increased the presence of strategic US assets such as an aircraft carrier and a nuclear-powered submarine in the region to deter the North. Pyongyang has repeatedly declared itself an irreversible nuclear weapon state and routinely denounced joint US-South Korea drills as rehearsals for invasion. A car crashed into a crowd of Liverpool fans celebrating the team's Premier League title win, injuring at least 27 people, with 2 seriously injured. Out of the injured, 4 were children. The incident occurred on Water Street shortly after the team's victory bus passed through the area. A 53-year-old white British man from the Liverpool area, believed to be the driver of the vehicle, was arrested. The police said that they did not believe the incident was terrorism related. British Prime Minister Keir Starmer said that the country stands with Liverpool on Tuesday after a car plowed into a crowd of soccer fans during a Premier League title parade. British police believe the incident in a packed Liverpool city centre on Monday was isolated and not an act of terrorism.
Well, scenes of joy turned to utter horror and devastation, and my thoughts and the thoughts of the whole country are with all of those that are affected. Those injured, which of course includes children, their families, their friends, the whole community, Liverpool fans everywhere. And Liverpool stands together, and the whole country stands with Liverpool. I'd like to thank the first responders who did a fantastic job last night and continue to do so. There's now an ongoing investigation. I'm being kept updated, talking frequently to the Mayor, Steve Rotherham. But as I say, my thoughts and the thoughts of the whole country will be with everybody in Liverpool today.
Russia accused Ukraine of trying to derail peace talks, claiming that its massive aerial assaults on Ukraine in recent days were a response to escalating Ukrainian drone strikes on its own civilians. Diplomatic efforts to end the war have accelerated in recent weeks as officials from both sides held direct talks for the first time in 3 years earlier this month. Meanwhile, Kiev accused Russia of trying to evade responsibility for the recent strikes. Ukrainian President Volodymyr Zelensky's chief of staff, Andrei Yermak, on his Telegram post stated that Russia needs more sanctions. Russia's Foreign Minister Sergei Lavrov met with Turkish Foreign Minister Hakan Fidan in Moscow on Tuesday. During their meeting, both leaders discussed the significance of recent direct Russia-Ukraine talks in Istanbul. On Monday, Turkish counterpart also met with Russian President Vladimir Putin to discuss the efforts to resolve the Ukraine conflict and progress following the direct negotiations. Car sales in Europe fell in April amid a weakening economy, and while more electric vehicles are being sold, Tesla is selling less cars on the continent. Joining us with more is DW correspondent Chiponda Chimbelu in Berlin. Hi Chiponda, why are car sales falling in Europe?
Thanks for having me. Well, new car sales here in Europe fell for the third time this year. In April, they contracted 0.3% on the year. And while that might look like a slight dip, it is a major concern for the industry because it was the third month of contraction this year. Now, car sales fell in January and February too. Demand for new vehicles, of course, is falling amid the ongoing tariff dispute with the United States. And Europe's car makers are also facing more competition from China, especially in the...
So that was Chiponda Chimbelu giving us those updates from Berlin. That's all for this edition of DD India Live. Do let us know your thoughts on the news of the day. Connect with us on our different social media handles, and you can also download our DD India mobile app for quick news and updates on the go. We'll be back with more news as it breaks here on DD India. I'm Tanvi Taneja. From all of us here in New Delhi, thank you for watching. Namaskar.